All right, let's dive into something that pretty much every homeowner has to think about at some point: professional tree care. We're going to make this super simple and clear. You know, we all love our trees. They look great, they give us shade, they just make a house feel like a home. But here's the thing: what happens when that beautiful old tree becomes a problem? Maybe it's overgrown, maybe it was damaged in a storm. Suddenly, it can go from being an asset to a pretty serious risk. And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? Taking care of your trees isn't just about keeping the yard looking nice. It's a huge part of protecting your home's safety and, honestly, its value. It's all about managing a living asset. Okay, so to make a smart decision, you first need to know what you're even asking for. So let's quickly run through the main services any real pro is going to offer. First up is the big one: tree removal. And look, this isn't just for when a tree looks bad. We're talking about when a tree is sick, dying, or growing way too close to your house. A pro makes sure it comes down safely without taking your roof or your fence with it. Now, think of tree trimming as like preventative care for your yard. It is way more than just a little haircut for your trees. Good strategic pruning makes the tree stronger, and it gets rid of those dangerous, weak branches before they fall. This can save you from a much bigger and way more expensive headache later on. So the tree is gone, but you're left with that ugly stump. And trust me, just leaving it there is a bad idea. It's a tripping hazard, it'll mess up your lawnmower, and you know what loves dead wood? Termites. Stump grinding gets rid of the whole problem, so you get your yard back safe and sound. And of course, big storms don't exactly stick to a 9 to 5 schedule. When a tree comes crashing down in the middle of the night, you need someone who can be there fast. That's where emergency services become an absolute lifesaver for your property. So you know the what, you know the services, but that brings us to the really important question: how in the world do you pick the right person for the job? In a field with tons of options, how do you separate the real experts from, well, the folks who just have a pickup truck and a chainsaw? It's actually easier than you think. There are some really clear signs to look for. Okay, here are the 4 big things you need to watch for. Number 1, are they certified arborists? That's not just a fancy title. It means they actually know the science behind keeping trees healthy. 2, transparent pricing. You should get a clear, detailed estimate before they even think about starting. No surprises. 3, modern equipment. Seriously, this tells you a lot about their commitment to safety and getting the job done right. And 4, comprehensive service. You want a team that can handle it all, from a tiny trim to taking down a giant oak. All right, let's say you found a company that looks promising. Now it's time to do a little homework. Asking a few key questions can save you a world of hurt. This is a big one. You absolutely have to ask this, especially if your tree is in a tricky spot. Their answer is going to tell you everything about their skill level. The answer you want to hear is a confident yes, and it should be followed up right away with how they do it safely. A real pro will be eager to explain their safety protocols. If they hesitate or sound unsure, that's a huge red flag. Here's another great little test. Ask them why you should get a service like stump grinding. Are they just trying to sell you something, or are they focused on actually solving a problem for you? A good arborist will give you a clear answer, hitting on these exact points. They'll talk about safety, about preventing pests, about making your yard better. They'll focus on the value to you, not just on the service itself. Okay, so you've checked the boxes. They've got the expertise, the equipment, the safety mindset. There's just one last piece to this puzzle. What do other people say about them? This right here is what you are looking for. A review like this one from Marvin P. is pure gold. It's not just that they did the job, it's how they did it. Punctual, courteous, and they left the place impeccably clean. That tells you everything about their level of professionalism. So let's bring this all home. At the end of the day, taking care of your trees really is taking care of your home. So here's how you do it the right way. Here's what you really need to remember. First, know the lingo. Know the difference between removal, trimming, and grinding. Second, use that 4-point checklist we talked about to find a true pro. Third, always ask about safety, especially for tricky jobs. And finally, check their reputation. Look for those reviews that talk about professionalism and respect, not just a low price. So that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. The next time you look out the window at your yard, don't just see a bunch of trees. See them for what they are: amazing assets that also need to be managed. So go take a look and ask yourself, what is your landscape telling you?